Yeah.
You must burn that thing.
Yes.
Like, burn that thing. You cannot have your name and your physical address and possibly your cell number, because that is sufficient information for someone to do something.
Exactly. I mean, I think what was the key moment for us when we were recording this conversation with scammers was understanding the tactics they employ. I mean, something as simple as your social media platform makes you very vulnerable to scams. And I think it's always important when you are unsure. For example, I'm selling my car privately or something privately. When you are unsure, ask your insurer. I am about to sell my car privately. What are the things I should be asking? What should I look out for? You know, because somebody will have an understanding of what is the right process to go, what are the things that you need to ask, or the questions that you need to probe to be able to identify validity of whoever is trying to buy your asset. Or simple things like we get people from, municipal coming to our houses. People have been scammed out of their houses because you look at the identity, it looks legit. You allow them in, the next thing you know, your whole house is ransacked. So it's always important to just, if you're not sure, double check with somebody. Rely on your insurer or a broker or somebody. Just ask for advice.
Do you also just find that sometimes we take things at face value? I mean, one of the things that Gwendolyn often discourages is doing a deal over the phone.
Yes.
That you must be able to see the fine print. And even if the call center encourages you to be like, this deal is only available over the phone. Tell us why that is not advisable.
I think anything that has this intense urgency to conclude the deal, take it as a signal to do your due diligence. Don't actively go, oh, this is a great deal, I have to take it now or else. Rather pause and reflect and think, okay, if this is legit, can I ask to meet with them in person at a public place, just to be sure, and bring somebody in case it's not safe? Because sometimes a good deal is not necessarily a good deal. I mean, scammers have a whole science they employ to identifying a specific archetype for a specific scam. Simple things like it's an assumption that most single people are more susceptible to love scams, where I show you I love you, next thing you know, you give me your pension money, those type of things. Or some people are more susceptible to quick win deals because I want money now and I want this. And it's just been an interesting journey to also listen to Dr. Kosijiane unpacking the psychology of a scammer and what happens to you once you've been scammed. It comes with this element of shame, because it's not only the financial impact that hits you, there's also this, I could have done better.
I should have done better.
I should know better, right? But the reality is a scam can happen to anyone. And a scammer looks like anyone. They blend in. It could be me, it could be anyone in the community. So it's important to just always do your due diligence.
And to obviously be as vigilant as possible. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yep.
And things that need an answer right now, they don't want you to take the time to think and marinate and digest on the issue that they're trying to present to you. So in terms of this, once we take this circle of safety off air, what happens in real life with Momentum's circle of safety? Somebody's listening saying, I need to be a part of this. Where do I even begin?
So I think number one, the series is available on all our social media platforms, so follow the conversation there. But for us, really, it's not just about, a moment in that we've identified in culture to tap into. It is about making sure that as an insurer, we go beyond the transactional relationship of collecting a premium and paying for claims, because we care about safety of our clients and everyone in South Africa. And that is why bringing conversations like this to the fore is important to us, because we have the responsibility of educating and creating awareness. So what I can say is that look out for more of this type of content from from Momentum Insure, because we are about making that impact in the market. It's about having deep conversations that really helps to make clients' lives a little bit easier or safer.
Okay, and there are questions coming through on 011-883-0702 in the WhatsApp line 0727021702, and feel free to direct your questions to Shweshwe, who sits in Momentum Insure and can answer some of your insurance questions. So here's one that says, in regards to doing things over the phone, is it possible to be scammed over the phone to taking up car insurance? Because most of them, we typically do them over the phone. How can one be sure that the people calling are truly from a car insurance registered FSP?
Yeah. So actually that is also one of the biggest scams that are coming up. So insurance related scams where people attempt to sell you something. There is a website where you can verify or call the head office or whoever. If I'm calling you from Momentum Insure, for example, call the office, check, is there somebody like that? Because scammers also identify options. Remember, our data is freely available at
80%.
Is scam.
So what I do, I listen and wait until they say it's money needed, then I'll say no. And then the other one is that I'm in a toilet business, so we're getting a lot of scammers scamming us toilets. I got scam toilets, brand new toilets, some years back, 4 toilets. So from then I learned that you need to do your due diligence when you give somebody your toilet, because the guys will call you, and there are popular areas in Johannesburg, Germiston and all of that. The guys will call you and say they want a VIP toilet, there's a party, like a party, graduation or a party during the week on a Wednesday. You like, hey, nah, don't play like that. You must go to a toilet or a party at the guest house. A party at the guest house or what. When you deliver the toilet there, you come back the next morning, the guest house people say, oh, we don't know that person. We don't know them. So you need to do your thing and make sure you get everything. I ask for everything. I even scan your diskia license. I ask for your address. I want a municipal. It should be on a municipal, not some Edgar's or a municipality letter. If it's not in your name, call the person or it's on his name. He must verify and vouch for you that you are staying in that yard.
Yeah.
What's that?
I wonder what it is about you that
They will always, people, they know these people, they can smell you from far.
It's true, eh?
Right away.
They look at you and they see Lotto that their time is coming through, and I'm glad that Lekahonolo is sharing that, because experience will teach you what to start to look out for. The signs of things like, for example, if a person says, I'm going to come there to collect and then jiggy, actually you must come to me like, why are plans changing? Why am I being caught off guard all of a Sunday? And some of these things happen. Another question that came through says, or comment rather, I have a theory that everyone gets scammed in life at least once. Whether it's for a penny or a million rand, being scammed once is life school fees. Being scammed twice is your own fault, in my opinion. I don't know if I agree that being scammed twice is your own fault, because they take so many different forms. Some of you are in relationships and you don't know you're being scammed, but you think you have a person. You're being scammed.
You know what you're saying is so important. I'm a victim of a scam myself, where my phone was stolen. I got a link and I thought, my word, it's from Apple. They've really found my phone.
Yes.
I was like, hey, I can click on it. I clicked on it. Guess what? That's how they managed to kick me out of Apple.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Which means now they have possibly access to many other things.
Exactly. So it is in that moment of desperation that you can get scammed. So
yes,
it's very easy.
My goodness. And I think also, when we look at the situations we find ourselves in, like I've seen this other scam where a person that you know, but they act like they're on a new number. So you'll see their name pop up and their picture. Hey, how are you doing? I'd like you to nominate. What? I'm trying to get a nomination for something. And then there's a link that you click on. They're like, please can you support me? Once you click on the link, it takes you to Telegram or some other platform that inadvertently gives them access to that account. And now with all of our accounts quite interlinked, getting access to one thing usually means you get access to everything. Hence they say the moment you have been robbed of your cell phone or something has happened, the first person you should call is your bank to get everything cancelled. So on that note, what are some of the other things that you want the public to maybe think about and look at different ways of approaching, because we need to outsmart the scammers?
Yeah, don't click on any link for sure. I think it's so easy because most of us, I know I've been a victim of this. I've had like one password for everything. But don't do
Biggest
that.
mistake, eh?
Do not do that. If it means you must, have 10 different passwords, or try and mix it to a point, come up with some algorithm that's difficult to crack. That's one way of doing it. If anyone attempts to sell you anything, double check. There's actually scams where people would come to your house and claim to be coming from a dealership and wanting to, they would tell you there's something wrong with your car.
There's a recall, they need to take
There's a recall of some sort. Double check with the dealership first before you release your asset. Or, if it feels fishy, I'm telling you, it is definitely fishy. Do not do that.
All right, so everybody can go online to get more information on the Momentum Circle of Safety. Follow all of Momentum's social platforms and continue the conversation and be a part of this campaign. Shresha, thank you so much for joining us and having this conversation. I'm glad it was a safe space for us to be like, also me, I got scammed.
No, thank you.
We were as trigger happy. Over the past 2 weeks, police in KZN have killed 18 suspected criminals. In all of the instances, police have released a media statement saying they were fired upon first. And the Jacob Zuma Foundation says delays in its private prosecution of President Cyril Ramaphosa are out of their control. Earlier today, his legal counsel indicated it will be approaching the Constitutional Court on the matter. This after the Supreme Court of Appeal dismissed his second bid to overturn the setting aside of this matter. Those are the headlines. This Eyewitness News and more at 3 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic. Cause of traffic remains heavily backed up on Germiston Road between St. and Stonehaven. Some good news though in the Parkland area that I couldn't see on the M1 North near Empire. Smart has been cleared and traffic is now free flowing. Otherwise, the traffic remains sluggish, leaving the Joburg CBD. And as soon as on Main Reef Road in the Southeast area, Main Reef Road between the Crown Exchange and Anderson. In Midrand, traffic lights still on Road and when it comes to the main road. Bangin in Zuza will have your next Eyewitness News traffic update just after 3.
702 Online has moved to primemediaplus.com. We've upgraded your online and mobile experience. Sleeker, fresher than ever, high quality and faster streaming. 24/7. Get up.
John, how are you doing?
Well, thanks to you.
I am good. Did you get a chance to hear our conversation?
I didn't actually.
So, we were talking about why is it that there's this negative connotation to the relationships of mothers and daughters-in-law, but you never hear about sons and fathers-in-laws having beef. And I asked the listeners, to which many men gave some scenarios to say, well, if I were to really bring up an issue, it's going to end up in fists and violence and the cops being called. Another man said, well, men generally don't have squabbles with one another. It's women that have squabbles. Others say women are being territorial. I don't know. I'm curious as to your observation. Do you know of a father and son-in-law who headbutt? I also said, well, some women, were just raised by single mothers, so half of the men might not even have fathers-in-laws to beef with.
you make an excellent point at the end there, and I think what it points to is the huge complexity of all these things. Admittedly, two old women further on in life, but nevertheless, I know lots of people who actually get on really well with their mother-in-laws. I think the other thing is I haven't had a father-in-law because my wife's dad had passed, so that was never in play. But I certainly think my brother-in-law and my dad got on really well. We're close. I think most of these stereotypes and generalizations have some grounds in reality, but equally, there's not much comedian's material in a great relationship between somebody and their mother-in-law. So popular culture drives this stuff. I don't know. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me.
We've decided that we're going to bring in an expert to weigh in because there were so many views. One said it's the nature of things. Another used the analogy of a lion leaving the pack and he moves to the woman. And I think it's an interesting one. We will get to the bottom of this one. Where is the real beef between sons and fathers in law?
Let us know, please, when it's coming up so we can make sure we don't miss it.
There we go. What's coming?
Well, on our show, obviously, we've
drama.
focused a lot on the issue with the attack at the school, wielding pangas, and a gun coming to school and taking children away. At the center of this is the allegation that this all involves the Pastor Mboro and his church. His huge tent structure has been burned down in Katlehong. So this is going to be front and center in the show. Khomotso Modise of EWN is out there, and we'll talk to her after 3. And then we're hoping to get some people involved in the community, particularly in the community radio station, because they know much more the kind of drip of the way these things unfold at a community level. We tend to parachute in as outsiders when there's something going on. A group of people in the Kaya Sands area have won a decision in court to stop the burning of rubbish at dump sites because of the toxic effect on the air and other damage that it does. It's an important case, and we'll talk about that. Update on the state of NSFAS. Also